Hi, this is Adam, and in this Curry Burger Extra, I'm going to show you how you can use SMART goals to have tangible results in your own artistic journey. Let's get started. In episode 3, I briefly mentioned an acronym that's oftentimes used in the business world. Now, I wanted to go a bit more in depth regarding that subject and show you how you can apply this principle to elevate your power to improve any aspect of your life. Now, I will be taking this from the specific angle of art, imagining that the listener's end goal is artistic growth. However, know that this principle applies to any area of your life in which you're trying to have improvement. Physical fitness, language learning, workplace, academics, it doesn't matter. Also, as a side note, although this formula is really simple to come by and understand, since it's most commonly used in the management world, I've rarely, if ever, heard it used in the art world. I was introduced to this when I was working in a bank, but I had to be reminded of it by my wife when I went back to art school. Anyway, what is this magic formula? In 1981, George T. Doran published a paper in Management Review, which originally threw forward the acronym SMART. S.m.a.r.t. SMART. This is a system that creates a process for setting goals and reaching them. In order, SMART most commonly stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-related. That's a lot to digest, but before I look at each segment more thoroughly, I want to emphasize that creating a SMART goal is not a linear process. Rather, consider it a checklist. When you're creating a goal, you're going to be bouncing back and forth. Maybe you'll think of something more specific, but it's not relevant. So you'll think of something that is relevant, and you know easily how it's measurable, but it's not specific enough. Any way you cut it, using this method takes time. But it will result in specific and obtainable goals. Let's look at each one more thoroughly. Specific. Target a specific area for improvement. This is where you stop to think what you're trying to improve upon and narrow that down even further. Look at your overall image and find specific areas in which you need to improve. Say you're wanting to improve your character design. This is known as a main goal. A specific goal would be things like wanting to draw the figure from memory, painting the face more realistically, designing unique armor, etc. Specificity can also come in other forms. If you feel like you've progressed to the area where you can kill two birds with one stone, limiting yourself to certain processes, genres, settings, styles, or even making a quantity goal can help you. Whatever it is, your main goal by making something specific is to take your goal out of the abstract. Cement it with something concrete and tangible. Saying, I will improve my architecture design is not as helpful as saying, I will improve my architecture design by referencing timber frame buildings and doing 5 medieval themed houses in a stylized aesthetic. Measurable. There must be a way to see if progress is or is not being made. In the art world, this is most easily done by setting benchmarks and receiving critique. Use professional artwork as a guide in terms of the quality in which you are going after. Put your work next to work that is similar to yours and ask yourself, how does it compare? What specifically is better? Can I mimic that? Almost all master painters started by studying master painters that came before them. Only after they had done that and learned the core fundamentals of quality did they begin to branch out and develop their own voices. Be careful you're not using the phrase, "it's my style," or "I just do it that way." as a crutch to excuse your own poor performance. You enact measurability through drills, exercises, practices, and studies, and lots and lots and lots of comparing and hard critique. And yeah, critique's hard to swallow, but it's how you begin to see problems that you otherwise would have missed. Achievable. State what results can realistically be achieved given your available resources. Do you have the training to make this happen? The experience? The ability? The time? This step helps ground you towards making actual progress towards your goal. If your current goal is outside of your resources, you will never get it done. Or it's not going to be done in a satisfying way. If you lack the ability, you're going to end up staring at the paper, not knowing where to start. Take a step back, find out why you're stuck, and make fixing that the area of your goal instead. This step is necessary because you do not want to give up, which you're going to find happens when your goal has been impossible to begin with. You're going to fail, and you'll feel totally defeated. Whenever you complete a short-term goal, you'll feel a rush. And that rush is going to propel you to help build momentum towards becoming someone who does reach their goals. Relevant. Determining if the results of this goal will align with larger goals. Let's imagine you want to improve your character design because you're sorely lacking in figure drawing skills. But the work you're ultimately trying to get is environment design. Will better figures help sell your environments more? Probably. Will they showcase your environments more than working on environment design issues? Maybe not. It's not a problem to want to do many things, but it is a problem to want to do many things at once. Look at your favorite artists, and you're going to find one thing in common that each artist has, and that's focus. It's not that other artists don't want to do a lot of things. It's that they know that in order to improve dramatically, focus is necessary. This might mean sacrificing certain desires and goals to be completed in a later time. Don't worry, you have your whole life to work on this, so take it one step at a time. Time related. Specify when the results can be achieved. Something you've probably experienced many times before is called the Parkinson's Law, and that is that work expands so as to fill the time available for its own completion. Deadlines matter. If it's achievable, you will be able to finish it within the set time frame, and that time frame will stretch you to actually accomplish your goals. But the opposite is also true. With no deadline, there's no rush to finish. With no rush to finish, the goal is rarely reached. Abandoned from neglect. Try for shorter periods of time. Years are really long time frames. A year goal can be cut into monthly goals, monthly into weekly, and weekly even into daily, depending on your need. Side note, if you really want to look into this, there are various methods for focusing yourself. Now that's a whole other talk, but I'd quickly recommend looking into the Pomodoro technique. Even if you tweak it, using a timer can really help you out. That's the SMART goal system. Everyone's SMART goals are going to look different. Some might be more specific, some less. The important thing is to have parameters set in place to help reach a larger goal through the act of completing tangible, smaller goals. Completion is important. This is why you should care. The principal advantage of SMART objectives is that they are easier to understand and to know when they have been done. There is no use in setting forward goals that have unobtainable ends, and yet we always do this. We're always hanging out in the nebulous of seeking for improvement, and yet at the same time being our own worst critic. You might become a fan of your own work, but you'll also see its own flaws always and want to tinker with it. We seek perfection, but if perfection is our goal, we will never reach it. This process is very difficult. It's hard. This could take hours to make, analyze, get critique on, and make again. If you can finish this process in minutes, you're probably not making very good objectives. Remember, you are doing this because you want to change. You want to accomplish something. You want to see improvement. You want to reach your goals. So look at them, compare them to this method, and most importantly, reach them. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this video, and I do hope you found it helpful. If you enjoy our content, consider subscribing or just check out the links below and see how you can learn more about us. And as always, good luck with your own projects.